like your exam room, testing for sauna.
And we used to go to the pictures and
That was before my time, but yeah.
well, then they put the Jordan Marsh in, and extended it down, and then put in a fountain in my shop, so they made it bigger.
Mm.
And then down at the corner was Rose.
Okay, when you're ready. So treat this like your exam room, testing for sauna.
Okay, very good. Let's have a short discussion. All right, just want to remind everybody that we have 3 classes left. 3 classes left before the seminar. Okay? Because we're not practicing the week of March 28th, which is that weekend, because that's our big festival. And then we're not practicing again the week after that because we have the EIO seminar here. Okay? So there's only next 2 weeks we're practicing, and then 1 week in April, and then test time. Okay, so next week we'll have the. Very good. Let's have a short discussion. All right, number 1. Oh my. So all around looking good. You're looking solid. Still little components. You hit on your first arrow. All right, I just want to remind everybody that we have 3 classes left. 3 classes left before the seminar. Yeah, I'll call it a day. But not practicing the 5-second time. So you held down the that weekend or with our big festival. And then we're not practicing again the week after that because we have the EIO seminar here. So there's only next 2 weeks practicing, and 1 week basal. April, around again looking fine. You're shooting to Sudiashi. Next week we'll have the Matsuo affair, so we will get you to see that Matsuo. All right, number 1. Oh my.
Just natural.
So all around looking good. You're looking solid. Still little components. You hit on your first arrow.
Obviously,
the
first sounded like a hit. I heard the scream.
I think it's a hit, right? So we hit the second one. Yeah, I'll call it a hit. But hold tight. Remember 5-second time?
Looks like both of
So you held that on the second arrow. First arrow was short. It looks like a snow. So make sure you're pushing on that front forward. Remember, your first arrow was short. Basal. All around, everything looking fine. You're shooting, you see the action coming in. Your toes sometimes went forward. So as I'm looking at you.
Right. It's just natural, but remember,
And your second arrow, you were there at time, and then you went whoop. Obviously, first arrow hit that. I heard a shot. Your arrow placement is good. Arrow placement one good for low basal. Arrow placement looks good for number 1. So it looks like both the arrow for and where's the other arrow? I see one to the left. It's in the little tiny. You're getting there. You're completely legally blind. I think that's pretty darn good. Remember, your first arrow was like a small bush on your first arrow. And something I want to talk about with Hanada with some of you is what's happening is when you're here and you go out, the natural position of your hand is to do this, right? So you're here, boom. Right? And so if you're doing second arrow, this, you turn on your hand. So you're there at time, and then you're doing this. You're doing more than what's necessary. So you hear the pivot point of elbow, boom. You're number 3. But your arrow placement is good. Arrow placement is good for both of them were low. Either way, the hand is arrow placement looks good for number 1. Just like you had in number 4. Right. Where's your other arrow? See 1. Oh, to the left. It's in the little tiny. Okay. All right, thank you very much. All right, let's get the next examinees. Yes, black belt and knee down. Or Sandan. Sandan, yes. Anyone else? Or Strodan? No. So you're EQ, right?
Yes, sir.
So you'll be on the next.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ready?
Right.
A little faster.
All right, very good. Okay, quick discussion. I want to point out Alex's comment here. See how nice and crisp those lines are, nicely ironed. Let's put that out there. Okay. Number 1. Okay, arrow up on, no, I'm sorry, that was the other number 1. Make sure your head is centered going up on your question. It was, actually when you were here, your head wasn't centered on. Okay. Nice Kai, I'm always impressed with your Kai. Closing procedure. So remember, when you're a standing archer, you're going to do just the opposite. So you come in here, you go 1, 2, 3. So when you're closing, 1, 2, 3. Right? So you're doing just the opposite. Make sure it's nice and crisp. Okay. Also, when you appear, head follows hand. So a couple times we were good, and a couple times we looked and then grabbed, right? Which is normal for people, but in Kyudo it's a little bit different. So just do that, and you have 3 classes left?
Right.
Try to come every single one of those 3 classes.
The first one,
Yeah, I saw that. Lot. The lot? Yeah. That wouldn't have counted against you. You're going for Shodan. I mean, you can drop both your arrows and still pass. So it's not going to count against you. And these things are not going to kill you. They probably won't fail. But yeah, we want it. Okay. Shuriashi. Okay, arrow. So release your arrow up on Hidiki. So you're here. The arrow's pointing up at a diagonal, right? So make sure your arrow's straight, pointing away from you and not up from you. Okay. So you did a little bit of an elevator Kai. Okay, so you're here. Right, so remember you gotta go all the way back. Feel like you're doing this thing here. But your releases are okay. Good. So you had your Uchiyokoshi. The big thing I saw with you is that sometimes the Uchiyokoshi was a little off here, and when you went up, and then you were kind of doing a weird arm movement, trying to get it. So your Uchiyokoshi was up high like this, and then you were, right? So it just looked a little odd. So wherever your hands are here, just elevated them across. So from here, elevator across. Yes, sir. All right, and do that again. Okay, good job. All right, last group is testing. Two? All right, who else wants to shoot with them? So Jonathan and Shinsuke. And who else? And Skyler.
Is this the last one for teacher?
Yeah, and you go ahead. You go in there. And we'll look at Keaton for going. Oh, for Sankyu, I'm sorry. Hayden for Sankyu.
This one.
When you're ready.
お願いします。
Okay, let's have a quick discussion. Did you want to try shooting? Okay. All right, number one. Okay. So anybody, Katie? Points? It's for
So
sock.
for some cue, you have to make sure that your arrow and the bow is on the same plane. It's one of the criteria of passing. So really think about getting your arrows pointed up. They're still kind of gliding.
Okay, anybody else?
There were a few points where where it looked like you were looking straight ahead as opposed to about 12 feet out. And then when you go to, as you turn to shoot, you're looking straight up and then turning. You should just be going from here straight to here.
I don't totally understand.
So what you're doing is, so notice where my gaze is right here. If I have my arrow, my gaze is right here, about 12 feet out. Which you're, from here, when I get ready to shoot, so right before I go into Uchiyokoshi, I'm just gonna look straight out towards my target, and then go into Uchiyokoshi. What you're doing is you're here, you look up, as if you're staring at the judge, and then you turn to your target. You just turn to your target.
It's like you're safety checking as you're shooting, but you already did your safety check, so you don't have to do it again. Just look.
Okay, anybody else?
Sorry. Going on that point, same thing with coming in and bowing out. Like after you bow, you look up again and then look forward. So make sure you only look up once and then down
Well,
straight.
yeah, down, return your gaze here. Okay, and,
You're saying don't look up again. Yeah, you
Yeah.
only look up once, bow, and then you're staring straight down.
Yeah. The only time you look at the coming down, that's 2 times, right? Once at the beginning and then once at the end. And then the rest of the time you're staring here, or when you're going to get ready to shoot, but only at the point of your safety check, right? Or if you're here, you know, when you're going to line up your feet. Anybody else? Anything else?
For your second arrow, Alex and I noticed it at the same time, kind of. Just make sure you're going through all the steps. That it looks as though it looked like you missed one of the steps when you were setting up while you're for your second arrow. So just make sure you're going through each individual step.
Okay. Got a few small things. So when you're coming in, grab one of those. Not real strong. So coming in, your thumb is on the bow like this, like to stabilize it. Right? Remember when you're in Tori-Yumi no Shisei, just like Deidre was saying. All right. So you should have this like this. Your fingers here should technically be in the why did I just go blank? Tenouchi position. Goodness gracious. So you should be in the Tenouchi position or something close to it. All right, if you can manage it, and then palm up. So the grip, you're gripping here. Right? You're gripping here. Remember you have the Tenmon Suji line, right, which is the line that if I fold, you see that line in my palm? That follows the line in my palm. Right, and palm is facing up. And again, we're forming the triangle, so arrows to the tip of the bow, same thing in the back. Chest out, stomach in. Okay. Now also need light now to see. What's going on, Brenda?
What's up?
Why do I need light to see? What's going on?
Exactly.
Right? Glasses, light.
Hearing aid.
Not yet. All right. So when you're coming up from your sitting position up, you only have 2 fingers on your feathers, on your arrows. You should have all your fingers cradling those arrows as you're coming up at eye level. Right? It's not just these 2. Oh, real nice. Okay, this looks really refined. We're talking about getting really refined. Kind of getting picky, but this is what we need to do. So when you're coming up with your koshi, you should be looking to your left of your elbow. Right now you're looking to the right of your elbow. Okay. Looking to the left of your elbow. All right, and also when you're done with your hanade, bam, you fire, come back. So you say, or you had your bow is still on the other side. You know, so make sure boom, center, come back into your posture. And then you walk, right? Still maintaining. Okay. So how many mistakes could he have?
3.
These are the major ones?
Q is 3 to 4.
All right. Good job, you passed. But those got to be fixed for EQ. EQ things get really tighter. Okay, for number 2, again, so we talked about your release, so make sure your arm is facing up. All right, the hinge point is here. There's no hinge point here. So pretend you have, you know, a cast or something. All right. So what were you using a 10 kilo bow? 12. So it was you were pulling too much, and your arm was breaking parallel. So you're like, eek. It's exaggerated, but you go something like this. All right. So your arm needs to be parallel to the ground, and this gooseneck. And that brings me to shin. So make sure you're goosenecking your wrist. Okay. So here, gooseneck. Continues like gooseneck. You still have a lot of strength in your right hand. So your first arrow went low because your arrow was high on your cheek. So make sure you got hozuke right here on your cheekbone. So feel that cheekbone here. The Germans like to do cheekbone to the nose, but they stop that because they're cheating. Right, so you go here. Right? And then, so when the arrows scrape the ground, you went like that. All right, so you show disappointment in your shot. So, you know, no expression. All right, and number 4, again, your hands up on release. So you should be, your hand goes down, it should be hand up on release. Right? Your hand goes down. Uchi-koshi, your arrow pointing up. So when you hear, it means your left arm was higher than your right, or your right should be higher than your left. Right. So you need it to be parallel or a little pointing down is okay. This will be the last time that we free shoot after this. It was American. revisions to the right? Are you going to do that? Yeah. Both of them go back. Okay, Brenda had a question when we were inside the tea room on why are we leaning forward on the balls of our feet? Why do we think that we're doing that?
To set your balance correctly.
Setting our balance forward, that's right, but why are we doing that? I could be balanced leaning back on my heels.
So you
Why
don't
are
hit
we-
yourself with the string?
That's one of the reasons why.
So our toes are lined up with the dot, which puts us back.
That's correct, that's right. So if I'm like this, right, my center of gravity is behind the dot right now, right? But if I lean forward, if I had a pendulum in between my legs, the center of gravity now is on that dot, is on that line. And in fact, when I come down, shin, let's try it. So go ahead and watch, I want you to watch shin from behind, and if his lines are correct, his arrow should be over that center, or very close to that center. So go ahead. So you can see his toes should be more. So he should be, those should be in line with that, which is in line with this, which is half that target, right? So you should go a little forward, Jim, a little forward, a little, move your toes forward. Did you can touch? Yes. Okay, good. Now go ahead. So as he's leaning back right now, he's straight. So I mean, his weight right now is here. So his center is here somewhere. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and lean forward. Now lean, go on your toes. Yeah, your feet a little too widespread. Sure, put your feet a little. Yes, there you go. Right, yes. Now go ahead and go to Kai. Now you'll see his line of Kai. Go ahead, pull. Go to Kai. His arrow should be generally right over that center. Okay, if he's putting his arrow, is lined up with the center. All right, so you're maximizing your chance of hitting. Right, just like we've already figured out, get it on the right spot of the glove, get it on the hozuke, make sure the arrow placement is correct on the grip here, always constant. This little one. Okay. All right. Let's shoot.
It also engages the muscles.
That's right. It stretches you out, stabilizes your hips.
So if you have I'm a ball teacher, and you have every student stand on the balls of their feet because it activates those muscles, and not just the posture, but does the breath work. Everything you're doing is breath.
In line. Right, I didn't know that you did that before. I remember our chorus teacher would make us sit on the edge of the seat and sit straight,
Yes. Yes. But
Instead
when
of
you're-
going back down.
Yes, when you're standing, they make you stand on your toes. I had a voice teacher make us take a chair, turn it upside down, and not only stand on your toes, but you have to turn it as you're saying.
Oh.
Breath support.
That's really neat. Down, yeah. Go down here, lower it here. Lower it here. This is a drawing. Pull a little bit more. Okay. Push it down. Push it down. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Getting better. Just go ahead and touch that cheekbone. There you go. Yeah, you want to. Yeah. I'm going right here and following the line. Both arms are right to the left. Now, the first one, when I went to the other position to the left, that was where we were actually aiming. second one, you pull that way up, or push here. So, okay, that's 16. Where you feel like you normally shoot, camera please. Just a little bit.
Look at the structure that comes on, always keep kind of reaching, keep the line of the palm.
That's right.
All fingers up on the side.
This. Cradle.
Keep it as a line, drop, and inside of your top down. Is there anything on there that?
That was good, you got it. Did you see Amber's position? She's leading a little forward. See, that's exactly right. She's leading a little forward. Yes, good job. Loosen your hand.
question. And that's a rule for everyone. If you see someone up about to shoot, don't walk in the space immediately in front of them.
Definitely recording before the next one moves forward. Whatever's out there.
Oh, a little more to the right, Brenda. Did you push it to the right?
Yeah, 16th, so now I have to go 30 seconds.
Maybe. Yeah, that 30 second will be all right, but you're getting there, right? I mean, it's proving the theory there. Well, a little bit more pull, Liz. I want to call you Joe.
Jennifer laughing.
Jennifer. Getting that pulling up. Pull more, push more. That could be your shoulder bothering you a little bit. You could go in. She could go in. Yeah, you said that. You just have to stop. Yeah, so you had a lot of arm movement. You just had a lot of,
Yeah.